All right, welcome to Stocks and Squats. This is L. Jermaine Russell. I'm here to provide you with the most up-to-date information that I'm doing on my stock market trading. So with any financial information or physical health information, this is the channel that you want to be at. If this is your first time here, please click like or subscribe. Um, I am here mainly really just to share what I have been doing, just to share my personal growth through the market. And this week I proven that growth, Um, and then I also stumbled. So I want to go through that stumbling part essentially. But from June or July 14th, uh, I was up. I was up 3,100 on the week. Probably a little bit more, but on that from Tuesday going into from the 13th going into the 14th, I was up 3,100. But I ended up ending the week 800 down. Not in total, but losing $800 away from that 3,100. So it's putting me at about a $2,400 win for the week. How because of that $800 loss, it puts me in a precarious situation of this coming up Monday. Because of that loss, I don't know where the stock is going to go. So typically, I've been ranting and raving about my EMA hack, and it's been working. It has been one of those stocks that typically, or is one of those type of thought processes that has been truly successful, that has been very, very successful, particularly when you're catching the stock before it runs up. In this case with GENE, I had it in my watch list, and I've been waiting for it to run up, and it did, and it ran up. And people who were in this stock, going in on that 15th, people who were in that stock, they they got it. They got it because it did everything that it was supposed to do along this EMA, right? Along this EMA, it had that spike up, right? It went from like $2 to like 250, and then it's all volume, this massive volume. I think it traded 375 million, and this is for a stock that really only has a float size of 12 million. So, I'm bringing this up particularly because I got caught with FOMO. And how FOMO works is that it's the fear of missing out. And this is a prime example. On this day, before anything even happened, um, before I even entered a trade, I was in my yoga class. I was not even thinking about anything. I wasn't thinking about anything. Really, I literally wasn't thinking about trading any. Particularly because the day before I had such a nice win, with INMB that, you can see that in the previous trading video. I had such a great win that I was like, why should I even trade this? Like, why should I even trade today? Wednesdays is typically my yoga day, and and I try to do yoga pretty much like that whole day. The whole damn day is like dedicated to yoga and meditation and all that stuff. So I tried that. I was not going to trade this at all. I was just going to leave it alone. But let's look at this, right? Because we're seeing what it did, right? We're seeing the totality of Wednesday what it did. But if we look in the pre-market, it started to get a little bit of traction, right? So it was at the low of 219, and then it went up to about 315. So that's almost $1 a share pre-market. So something is up, right? This is usually a good sign when you have something like this that happens in the pre-market. I typically like something like that to happen in the after hours the night before, but nothing happened like that the night before. So in the pre-market, it started to make some moves on the upside. Once the market opened, you can tell it just continued to ramp on up, and as it ratcheted up and went very strong, it also found its point where it to collapse. And you saw I even bought on the way down, trying to lower my price, thinking that, hey, maybe tomorrow it will go up, and not, taking to the account how strong the volume was on that day. It traded it almost 20 times, 25 times its float size. That's way, way too much. And then on top of that, it came out with its own its own direct offering. And this is where, I'm about 2.5 years now of actively trading, not just researching or not taking it seriously, but really like, 2.5 years really going at it. And this is by far probably the worst entry I've ever gotten into. And I'll probably say that on a lot of stocks that I've lost like $100 on, or $200 on. But one where I'm down literally $800, and this stock got halted on was it Thursday going into Friday? It was, hold up, what day was this? This was Wednesday. Yeah, so Thursday Thursday morning it was halted. The company halted the stock because they wanted to do their own price offering, and then they said that they might open up back on Monday. So I have to wait until Monday to really execute my close in this stock, because I have 200 shares. And like I said, if I were to ever take a trade back, this would be one of them. This would be the trade that I would take back. I said, I'm in Arizona. I doing yoga. It's 90 degrees out. Well, 90. It's 100 and something degrees out during the day. I'm practically, like, I feel like I'm in paradise right now. I get to trade and I get to do yoga over at my sister's house during this whole quarantine. And then I put myself in this situation. I am expecting it to be $1,000 loss. So that $3,100 that I end up earning right now, we could take away 800 from that, and then I'm gonna add in another 200 just for my own mind's sake. And if it goes to 1,500 before I can even cancel this out on at 7 a.m. Monday morning, then but who knows, with this direct offering that the company is doing for $5 a share. It's at $5.20 right now. It might go to $2.50. So I'm just trying to grasp this is the seriousness of this, because when you have a trade, well, let's just stay here. When you have a trade that goes up like almost $8 a share, there's really no reason to buy up here. And in almost all of my videos, I talk about buying near EMA, and nor did I even give it that chance to come back down to the 200 EMA. Not at all. Like, even if I gave myself the opportunity to say, hey, let me wait for it to come to the 200 EMA, then buy, then it could have been like, all right, this is a justifiable loss, because it followed everything in my EMA rule. It was doing everything. The data is a little slow, I guess, right now. It's doing everything that I would anticipate it to do. It's moving higher, and then it comes right back, and it came back to the 200 EMA on the intraday chart. And because they came back to the 200-day on the EMA chart, that's when you would typically want to buy. And because it didn't find any bounce going into the after hours, which you can't tell right now. It's probably because it's too hot outside. What is going on? Let's see. You popped up. You're not popping up now. What's going on? Here we go. Alright. Nope, wrong one. And it even went past its previous readings at 820, and I think there was another one that was a little bit further back, right? Because it went up to about 1030. So right around here, probably about this 1030-ish area, right? So it went to resistance areas right around here. Right there, right here. So you see that little resistance right there, right around here, around 1030. So because it went up to that much, it was just bound to come all the way back down. But I didn't expect it to go down that fast or that hard, And being that I did not have a day trade, that is also another rule that, you know, that if I had just waited and said, let me just get another day trade, you wait for a day trade to come across, then I wouldn't have anything to worry about. But because I bought this without having a day trade, it puts me in that situation. So I actually deserve to lose on this. Like I said, it is up way too much. Um, 300,000, 300 million, I should say, people traded this. Um, and then they come up with a direct offering, right? I don't know what other news that could really say that this would go up, but right now I can just see that, even with the financing, that this would probably just go down lower. Um, to show you the financing real quick, if I go to Yahoo, G, so if we look at their financing real quick, and yeah, I probably sound a little lethargic. I just got finished doing some yoga, so don't mind me. But I need to really apply that, like, that, really sticking to my guns and buying at the 200 EMA. Particularly that downfall. There's no reason why I should have actually bought. So let's go to their financials. And where are we? So, so when we look at their annual, this oversplit. Uh, so we want to look at their cash flow, essentially. Where's the? I'm getting the glare in my computer, so it's hard for me to actually see what's going on or what I'm looking at. There we go. Total revenue, cost of revenue. I want to see their actual cash flow. Expenses, outcome. Sorry, there we go. Oh, sheesh. Can't see. I was looking at their income statement. I was wondering why it was looking so weird. But when you look at their cash flow, it should probably more than likely be in the negative for the quarter, if not annually. Let's go to the quarter first. Yep. See, their free cash flow, they're working in the negatives, right? Negative 6,000. It's not even in the millions, right? It's in the thousands. It's all Australian. I'm not saying that Australia has anything different than America when it comes to their cash flow. It's just that that's what it is. That's their free cash flow. Their financing cash flow might be around 5,000 or close to 6,000, but essentially at the end of the day, it's not doing what it needs to do. And then let's go annually. Annually, when we look at their cash flow from last year, so they should be coming up with some type of earnings soon. They were operating at a negative cash flow of 6,123. Sorry. So we know that they're desperate for cash. Essentially, they're not in any ways mean or shaped to be in any type of financial literacy. In a sense, they're struggling right now. Um, I got caught up in that, in the hype, I guess, of the stock, and the consequences when Monday opens back up. This is the risk that I've taken for myself, knowing that the stock was up extremely way too high. Um, so don't do this when the stock is way too high and the price is near, or is trading near, way above about that. It's trading way above the 200 EMA. Don't put yourself in any situation. You see, this is like a $5 drop, right? Don't put yourself in a situation where you will have to enter into some type of decline, and then also have day trades available. So if this does happen, you can get out. You know, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. And sometimes I have that issue. So this is one. This is one. So after I'm done with this trade, I believe that I will earn it back. I know that it has been working. It was just that I wasn't taking in the volume effect with this one. I also traded AIU. ACIU, I got in. Let me move this real quick. You can see it a little bit better. What am I missing? Here we go. I think I got everything now. Just hard for me to see. I just got this big ass. I know I bought you. I know I bought this in here, but I can't see my price points because I bought it before it even came down, and I made money on this, but it's not showing me my price points. It sucks. Hold on. Right, because I was in this, and I said, yeah, I think it was on this hour that I got in, and then I got out, and then it started to decline. I don't know why it's not showing. Huh. But either way, essentially when I got out, the main reason why I got out is because one, it was already overbought. Had a nice amount of volume underneath it. Volume was like 1 million. The flow size is 71 million. But essentially, once I started to see these red candles and then this green candle was very strong, I figured I'd buy the dip. This was pretty much a dip and rip buy. If you know anything about Tim Bowen, he particularly likes that type of trade. So when it came down here, I bought near the 200 EMA because that was a learning lesson for me, from that Wednesday. So I just took that dip and let it rip, and then I sold. I sold at about $12. So I got in at 10:40, 10:45, I believe. And then I let it rip up to $12, and I just took my $1.50 a share, and then just watch it trail down afterwards. I really did think it was going to go higher, but once it started to test this this resistance level, and I was already out, but once it started to test it again, you can tell it was not doing anything, and it came straight back down. And plus, the price action was pretty wonky. It was doing too much already, on the level 2. And I gotta record, a live video sometime this week, so you can see what I'm talking about when I talk about the level 2 and how crazy sporadic it can be. So after I made that trade, I looked at AIM. AIM didn't do much for me. I thought do a whole lot more. I sold too soon, and then I tried jumping back in, and it still didn't do anything for me, so I got out. Like I said before, I think I talked about it where I jumped in back here, 6 cents a share. So that was way back here, back in March. It's starting to see this like EMA trend again, this EMA hack. And so I was anticipating it going higher. I bought it the day before at 309, and then it went up to 3 something. And that following day, the following day, I bought it in the day before. Let's get to that. So as you can see here, right, I bought at 309, and then it declined coming back the last 30 minutes of the trading day. It came back down, and then it was trading around this 270 area pretty much the whole of pre-market on Thursday. And being that on that, I was already upset about what happened with GENE, that my trade with this one, since I was holding these two overnight, My trade with this one, I did not want to lose anymore, so I did end up taking roughly 30 cents a share loss. But it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It went up higher to 340. It just didn't hold. I thought it was going to go higher than 340. Quite honestly, I thought it was going to go closer to, and I managed my expectations. But I thought it was going to pass 340 and at least get up to $4, maybe even 370, 380. So it didn't do that, but I still expect it to move higher. So I would not discount this stock anytime soon, particularly with the amount of deals that they have been signing in the past month. So definitely keep this on your radar. This is AIME, AIME. And it was added to the Russell Microcap too, so it has some momentum behind it. I would just say just keep an eye. And then I will just talk about this, like, two SPACs that I am looking at going into Monday, particularly because they're SPACs, and these SPACs have been doing really good for me as of late. That's another reason why I'm up. I was up 3,100 before my gene loss, but I think SPAQ, which has been finding some waves in the EV market, that's electric vehicles, mainly because they are taking Fisker electronic vehicles model and taking that private company and making it a public company by just converting the SPAQ to Fisker. Fisker that already trades publicly. So this was talked about on CNBC. Bloomberg has even reported on it. So those are typically the two financial news resources I go to, other than finviz.com. So I could see this one going higher. I'm not sure where, because it tested resistance, and in the pre-market it came back down. So it tested resistance at 1545. I am anticipating it to go to at least 16, if not to the 1670s. But I can't imagine this one closing out a deal soon, if not in like August, early September. But you can always look at the SEC filings on this one, because SP and and this is how this whole EMA, when you have everything in line. When I say everything, is the EMA is the 50, 100, and 200. So that's SPAQ. LCA, this is online gambling, SPAC. So because these SPACs are converting these private market companies, that these private companies that are willing to get into the public market, it gives it a higher chance of it going higher once it actually becomes public. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes on this, especially when sporting events are starting to open back up. This will be a good stock to have in your portfolio if you're not familiar with all the gambling stocks, the stocks that are actually in the sporting world, other than what is it called? Rumble. Other than Rumble, there's RMBL. Sorry, BL. So we got Rumble. This is online gambling as well, I believe, yeah. And then there's one other one. What is the other one? I know this one. Oh, DraftKings. So those are going to go up as sporting events. We're getting closer to sporting events. So just keep your eyes on those. And then lastly, I have Capricorn Therapeutics, stepping back into my biopharmaceutical space, because that's what I am typically, that's where I spend my time mentally, in this space. This company has, Duchenne muscular dystrophy drug that's that's available or not available. That's in phase 2. So because it's in phase 2 of his trials, it still needs to have more participants. So it's going to take some more time for it to grow a little bit more. It has entered into some COVID capabilities, so they're looking to treat these rare diseases and stuff like that, and COVID is supposed to be one of them. So they're trying their hand at it. It's also trading above the 50 EMA. So you know this is going to be another one that I'm definitely keeping my eye on for the week. Hopefully you do the same. So if there's anything, you can laugh at me with GENE because it came down, and how often am I losing on this EMA hack? I got to really take the stats on that, because this would be my first really official loss since I've noticed, or big loss I should say, since I've noticed this EMA hack. There have been times that I got out too soon, but the stock still spiked. But this would definitely be my first. So you can laugh at me, once Monday opens up. LCA, that's another one to keep an eye on with all these gambling, sports betting opportunities coming up very soon. SPAQ, the EV market, it's right here and there. CAPR, and I said it's mainly a technical thing for me because it has crossed over the 50 EMA, and it's above where it filled the gap. So the gap was around 520 and it closed at 532. So there isn't really much other than AIM that I would like to look at when it comes to the stocks that I traded this past week. But there are more stocks to look at. Like I would say, even check out gold. Gold is always one of my top favorite ones. I always believe that gold is going to go higher as the dollar gets weaker. So definitely keep an eye out on this. I think they have earnings coming up soon. So we should just keep your eye on it. But I'm going to stop here. That's about 20 minutes of me speaking, and I'm going into 30 minutes. I went over about 5 different stocks, so hopefully you were able to learn a little bit from CARP, SPAQ, LCA, and of course my biggest my biggest disappointment, GENE, and then AIM. I even gave you a little bit of ACIU. So definitely, I don't know why I still didn't show up on here. I might have traded this on my Robinhood account actually. I need to actually start recording a little bit of the mobile. I'll do some mobile trades on my phone so you can see, what I'm referring to on my Robinhood account, because, I'm not a big fan of their executions and stuff like that. I've mainly been using it to practice on, but I'm finding some solid trades on it as well. So I think that's enough. We'll keep the studying going. So don't forget to study. Watch Stocks and Squats for any financial news and exercise videos that I might put out, because I plan on putting a whole bunch of more exercise videos. I just need this one piece. So I just need this one piece so I can actually record on my ear set. So just waiting for that. But until that comes, keep watching, keep grinding, keep reading, and don't stop, man. Just keep on going.